Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are going to just begin in a few minutes. It's great to see some familiar faces. And Mary Joy, I love your blue bonnets. If you can tell me where that field is. I saw a few on campus, but I've not seen that field.
This one's up in the hill country area up by like Burnett.
Well, why don't we begin? Good morning, everyone. I'm Karen Dix, and I'm part of the University Advancement Team at St. Edward's University. Welcome to our last day of Love Blue Give Gold, our Hilltop's annual community-driven crowdfunding tradition. Now it's in its 8th year. Love Blue Give Gold has become a crucial source of support for many beloved campus programs and departments. Thanks to all of you, we are 60% towards our goal of 300 donors. So far, 180 alumni, students, friends, faculty, and staff have donated over $27,000. Thank you. It is now my honor and pleasure to introduce Father Peter Walsh, who will share with us a peaceful morning reflection. Father Peter has served as the director of campus ministry since 2012. This is your 10th year anniversary, Father Peter.
It sure is. I'm very excited.
His commitment to St. Edward's community is one of the many reasons why I support Love Blue Give Gold. If you have any questions, please write them in the chat, and there'll be time for a conversation at the end of Father Peter's reflection. Thank you, Father Peter, for joining us today, and I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Karen, and welcome to all of you, and good morning to all of you who are on Zoom right now, and also to those who'll be watching this recording later. It's a real wonderful opportunity for us in this morning to have this time to reflect upon this important campaign, but also more importantly on the mission of St. Edward's University that we all love and have benefited from in our own different ways. You know, I was thinking as I was walking up the hill, I live down the hill at where the community, the Brothers community lives. And I was walking up the hill and just noticing how everything on campus is springing back to life. This is full spring. And it's especially great because we're going to be hosting the Holy Cross Institute Convocation later on today and throughout the weekend. So Holy Cross educators from all around the country and indeed from other parts of the world are coming to St. Ed's, and we're coming on a really fantastic weekend. You know, the blue bonnets are in bloom. The trees are flowering, especially around the Brothers of Holy Cross garden that was built next to Holy Cross Hall, using statues that the brothers had at their home at St. Joe Hall for many, many years. The grass is green, the sky is blue, the birds are chirping. It's just a wonderful spring morning here. If it's a little bit cool, but it's going to warm up, which is great. And we're looking for a fantastic morning and rest of the weekend on the hilltop. But I was thinking about also how the campus is coming to life in other ways too, most importantly in the lives of students. You know, as you know, we've had a difficult 2 years where every day that passes, my Facebook reminds me of things that were going on 2 years ago as we were entering into social distancing and remote operations, and campus really became very, very quiet when students left for spring break and weren't able to come back. And we're seeing now the opening up of all that in a really full way. Just this past weekend, we at the chapel we had a pretty packed crowd, pretty full crowd for our 9 o'clock mass. Now that there are no restrictions on the numbers of people that can be indoors and in our spaces, But even around campus, as I was walking up the hill, there were women's soccer players playing on the field, practicing. Students have been in the theater, have just had a really fantastic musical called The Spelling Bee, or that's around the title. And student government is about to begin their elections and electing new leadership for a student government association. But also just in general, as I said, it's been really beautiful here for the most part. And to see students, lounging on the grass and, playing different types of sports and engaging with each other in conversations, either outdoors or now even indoors in Joe's Cafe. It's just a wonderful moment to be here on the hilltop as things return to vibrancy on our campus after a number of months and months of working under restrictions. We've been, because of everybody's cooperation, we've been able to keep the hilltop a safe and healthy place. And we're really benefiting from that community support and sense of community responsibility now as a real increased vibrancy comes to our campus. We had a retreat just a couple of weekends ago, our encounter retreat, and we were oversubscribed again. All of our retreats this year have been oversubscribed. Students are anxious and looking for ways to engage with each other and to really get to appreciate the value of our campus and of the programs that we offer here. And that's not even touching on the dedicated faculty that have been having classes and students who are attending those pretty much in person. And now again, with some relaxation of all the different things that the pandemic has had us do. So this is a real moment for our campus as we come back to campus fully and come back to the traditions that we've enjoyed over years and years and years, and that we can now have fully again. It's a real moment of resurrection. And I use that term, very meaningfully. That might sound like either I'm being overly pious, or it might sound like quite a leap to call this moment a moment of resurrection. But that's very consistent with our Holy Cross values. Yeah, I'm going to read something from the Constitutions of the Congregation of Holy Cross, which is the kind of guidebook, the mission statement, the plan for living for members, priests, and brothers of the Congregation of Holy Cross. And there's a wonderful constitution. It ends the constitutions called the Cross, Our Hope. And as you know, being brothers and priests of Holy Cross, the spirituality of the cross is very foremost in our own understanding of how we go about our work, especially our work of education. But there's one moment where the constitutions make this very bold claim. Resurrection for us is a daily event. We have stood watch with persons dying in peace. We have witnessed wonderful reconciliations. We have known the forgiveness of those who misuse their neighbor. We have seen heartbreak and defeat lead to a transformed life. We have heard the conscience of an entire church stir. We have marveled at the insurrection of justice. We know that we walk by Easter's first light, and it makes us long for its fullness. I think what's so remarkable about that paragraph, which I have been reading, by the way, since my mid-20s, so that it's been a statement that has formed my outlook on life and my outlook on my ministry in Holy Cross for my entire life with the community and for my entire priesthood, that bold statement of resurrection being not just what happened to the person of Jesus Christ when he rose from the dead at Easter and emerged from the tomb, but what has repercussions throughout history and throughout the lives of all kinds of people. And I love the way it goes into some detail, that that in our life in Holy Cross, we've been able to see the power of the resurrection that emanates from the cross, it breaking into the lives of people with whom we work. It mentions, the wonderful reconciliations that happen in the lives of individuals and in families and in communities, as this power of resurrection brings healing and strength to those who have been estranged. It talks about the insurrection of justice, the great triumph of justice that we're committed to in our education here on the hilltop, of promoting social justice through the lens of Catholic social teaching, of listening and hearing the voices of those who have been marginalized, those who have been left out of the discourse and of opportunities in society. We think of our commitment to ending systemic racism and to providing opportunities from students of various backgrounds, especially those backgrounds that might not equip them well for higher education. And yet we bring students to campus regardless of their backgrounds, and we provide them with the support and the meaningful experiences that help them to really fulfill their goals, and more so than fulfill their goals, by doing that, to bring them to a meaningful and impactful life. I think alumni especially can appreciate what that means, that the life that students live on the hilltop prepares them for all kinds of ways in which they can help to transform society and create those moments of resurrection that we see happening in the lives of our students and alumni. We've seen in our own ways on the hilltop how, when we come together as a community, when we join forces and confront the critical issues of our day, when we hear clearly and with competence the struggles that people have, both on the campus and off campus in our city of Austin, when we listen to those things that need to be addressed, and when we energize students and equip them with a real quality, excellent education to help to confront those critical issues and to contribute to the transformation of our society so that people experience those moments of resurrection. These are things that we can definitely see and track, but also that we believe with great hope have kind of an intangible effect on the life we live and on the society that we belong to. That when you start bringing these stories of students who have been transformed in their own lives and become agents of that transformation and agents of hope in the world, that has an impact that's greater than just the sum of any individual stories that we marvel at and celebrate. We really believe that through the mission of St. Edward's, we are really making a dramatic impact in the life of our society and in the lives of people who otherwise would be left out. These are core values of ours, and they're enshrined in our mission statement that I invite people all the time in presentations that I give to really study and reflect and pray with the mission statement of St. Edward's. And when I said that it's a bold thing to call these things resurrection, and to realize that it's a daily event, not a once upon a time event, that not only expresses what we experience in Holy Cross and on the life of the hilltop, but it goes all the way back to the very foundation of our religious community in Blessed Basil Moreau. I think when the constitutions were written back in 1986, the brothers and the priests who were working on them, they were reflecting on the very writings of Father Moreau that guide our approach to education here today. At the end of his little treatise, Father Moreau didn't write a lot, he did a lot, but he wasn't somebody who put a lot of effort into creating books and books and books of his philosophy. He wrote very accessible things that helped people to understand what their life and work in Holy Cross would be and would mean. And at the end of one little treatise called Christian Education, he talks to the mainly brothers who are working really in the outskirts of the city of Le Mans, in small schools, and says to them that what they are doing in educating young people is really changing the course of history. He says, remember that the children that you're educating, and they were children, the children that you're educating are the parents of future generations, and that the values and opportunities and experiences that you help them to grab hold of have an impact on the children that they will raise and on their children's children. So Father Moreau had this huge vision of how education brings transformation. And indeed, he calls it, he says to the brothers, let's get busy now. Let's take up our work of resurrection, always being mindful of the value of your mission. And so we're here on the campus, and we're experiencing in so many ways a return to the beloved traditions and vibrancy of the hilltop that so many generations of students have experienced, and we're seeing that happen right now before our eyes as we're able to restore things that had been put into hibernation for a little bit because of the pandemic. You know, St. Edward's has experienced a number of challenges over its 135 years, 137 years. And we have always rebounded and come back better. I was thinking about that on Monday. You know, for those of you who might have been concerned, we had some very serious storms here in Central Texas. And unfortunately, those storms continued to on the pathway across the South and hit New Orleans. But on Monday afternoon, about 5:30, we all started to get buzzers going off on our phones, and our TVs went ballistic as we started to get threats of tornadoes. Fortunately for us, we were spared any impact from those storms, and especially from the tornadoes. But areas north of us did get hit, and I'm sure that as that damage is assessed, our students will be looking for opportunities to be of service to our neighbors up in Georgetown and in the northern parts of the city of Austin. But it reminded me of what happened 100 years ago when two tornadoes went through the center of Austin. One went right down South Congress, the other one went down East Austin. This is 1922. And the tornado that went through East Austin came to our campus and kind of clipped a big corner of Holy Cross Hall, and then continued on and tore the roof off of what now is called Fondren Hall. Of course, then it was the natatorium. Unfortunately, one of our students lost his life in that tornado, and there was extensive damage to our campus. But the moment of resurrection is that our alumni especially rallied around and began to provide both, funds, but also material to help to rebuild what the tornado had destroyed. And it was that impulse of the alumni to come to the rescue, to come to the aid of St. Edward's, and to continue what they had experienced on the hilltop, and make sure that that was something that was handed on to new generations of younger students, has really been a remarkable story and a moment of resurrection back in 1922 that continues to this day. So as you know, we're in the middle of our Love Blue, Give Gold campaign. This is the time when it's very important to show support for St. Edward's and for the students who are here, to show support in various ways, but especially through your financial contributions. We are nurturing our community and helping our community become even more vibrant in this moment of resurrection, and helping our students to really understand what the college experience and what the hilltop experience can be like for them as they begin to grab hold of the opportunities that we are now getting back. And that it's so important for us, all of us, faculty, staff, alumni to support this important mission at this moment, and to make sure that the experiences that we have all benefited from in being here on the Hilltop is available to future students and to current students. And that it goes back to the 3 T's, right? There's a lot of ways in which we can support St. Edward's, and certainly Treasure is part of it. No matter how small it's so important that we all participate in helping to fund the programs and the educational experiences that impact our students. But just by spending this half hour with me on this call, just by spending some time, for those of you who are maybe watching this after the fact, taking this moment of reflection about our mission and about the dynamics of the way in which we are a people of hope, that dedication of your time is extremely valuable to what we are trying to do in this moment on the Hilltop. And that if you're savvy with social media, and I rely upon colleagues in campus ministry to help me with it, you can click and share the campaign page so that you can let folks who aren't on this call and folks who might not be as well connected to St. Edward's to see that this is an opportunity to really show some support the way those alumni did 100 years ago to help the campus recover from what was then a terrible tragedy. And it's important that you understand that our current students appreciate and know your support and your response. We kind of tally up the numbers of people who are engaging themselves in this campaign, and students see that, and they get such personal value out of that. The support, the moral support, the spiritual support, the financial support that alumni and others are giving to their education, and they know that they have a responsibility to give back when they can. They might not be at the point, certainly not now, since they're engaged right now in paying for college, but they pay back in a lot of other ways by being the leaders that we really need them to be on our campus, helping other students to have opportunities for service and for promoting justice, and to really do well with their classes. And also so that they understand that part of their giving back is participating in that work of resurrection in our society, which is struggling with so much inequity, so much missed opportunities, so much violence, and students, even now through internships and through service projects, are making their impact known. So when we all support them, they can do what our mission calls them to do, and to be the leaders that we need, not only for this moment, but for the rest of their lives. And so it's important to realize the moment that we're in, this opportunity to really participate in this moment of resurrection, and to support our students and to support one another. I'm going to pause right there. And, this is an opportunity not only for questions, but maybe something of what I've said or your own rambling thoughts, during the midst of this reflection, have brought up a memory or something that you'd like to share about your own experience of St. Edward's. So if you want to ask a question or pose something for us to think about, or share an experience that you've had on the Hilltop that resonates with this particular moment that we're in, let's take a moment, and Karen will be happy to help to field some of that conversation and some of those questions.
Thank you, Father Peter, for a wonderful start to our morning. And while we're waiting for some reflections, I just want to thank all of you for loving blue and giving gold. Donors like you are really supporting our essential programs. And as Father Peter said, not only our essential programs, but a beloved tradition for both current and future students. We are grateful for your dedication to the Hilltop community. And if you know, you can also say something. If you can unmute yourself, and please speak up if you would prefer to do that. rather than add something to the chat box.
Karen, I'd like to add my gratitude to Father Peter for his service and his colleagueship. At the root of the word philanthropy is love of mankind. And I can't think of a better way to kind of celebrate our mission than for how alumni express and others, families and friends express that love for the work that we do. And there are many ways that our family can support these efforts. And I keep talking about, you hear the term now more than ever, quite a bit since the pandemic. And I think really now more than ever, this place that we love and enjoy and celebrate, really now more than ever could use that hope of resurrection and support. So I thank you for those beautiful words you gave us this morning. I can't wait to shout that on the hilltop. So I'd love for us to get this posted right away on the site, because I think it's set aside everything that's going on. It's just it was really a special moment. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Joe. And, in addition to the cross being a symbol of Holy Cross, the more prominent symbol is the anchor. And, anchors do their job when they're hidden, right? But every now and then, if it's working right, you feel that tug that it's there and that it's keeping you safe. And I think that's the same thing for like kind of hope, that we kind of go about our business here in the Hilltop and we're very very focused on doing what needs to be done. But every now and then, like a moment like now, we feel that tug of hope, that tug of the anchor that reminds us that our mission and our values are really grounding us, and that we've got this ground of support that's so helpful to making sure that the important mission of St. Edward's continues.
Thank you, Father Peter. And if there's no more comments, I just want to thank all of you for for being here today, and look forward to those that will be listening to this recording later. And thank you for your support of our students and for all of our campus programs. Have a great day.